this is an example, the student took Math 119 at SD-Com and it came over as our Stat 119, so it has a direct equivalent. In some cases, you may see a course that is transferable because it's listed in this area, but it does not have a direct equivalent. So in this case, the student took SOC 125 at SD-Com, and it transferred to SDSU, but we do not have a direct equivalent. So it's going to come in as a 2X or a 2T. And why that is we just don't have the exact same course at SDSU, or for some reason we were not able to make it an equivalent to our course number due to something else. Like maybe we do have the same course, but the departments told us we're not allowed to articulate those courses as a direct equivalent. So they'll come in as a 2X or a 2T. I'm not sure why this happens a lot. The only number I need you to worry about, when you see that it's got a direct equivalent, you'll see the 2, that means lower division. If you see a 4, that means it's upper division. And then you'll either see an X or a T. Ignore all the other numbers and letter. That U doesn't mean anything, all the other numbers don't mean anything to you, it's all programming things. So what you're looking for is that it says 2X, 2T, or 4T. 2 is lower division, 4 is upper division. And all that means is that we just don't have a direct equivalent for it, but it is transferable. Yes?
Could you repeat what X and T stand for?
It's all programming.
Okay.
Yeah. X just means that it's locked in place, and T is more fluid, but it doesn't matter. It's X's and O's. It's all computer programming. So all you have to worry about is that, or I guess ones and zeros would have been the correct thing to say. All you need to worry about is if you see a 2X, a 2T, or a 4T, that just means that it's transferable, or we don't have a direct equivalent. Any questions on that? Okay. So, these classes that come over as, let's just use 2X or 2T as our example, they may be used to fulfill an area of GE like this one does. So if you look at your foundation social and behavioral in your example, you'll see that that course is listed with a plus sign. Well, let's see how it's listed. You'll see that it's listed under there. Does everyone see it? Yeah. So it satisfied a GE requirement, even though it doesn't have a direct equivalent. Does everyone see it? Under social and behavioral? Good. All right. So if it doesn't fulfill a GE requirement, then it will be considered an elective, so units towards the overall 120. Upper division courses that we do not make an exact equivalent, but that are still transferable, again, will be a 4T or a 4X, so 4 for upper division. If the student has a 2T or a 2X, and they want it to count as a major requirement, they will work with the major department, and they will they'll have to submit a RAR form, Request for Academic Adjustment of Record. Okay? So that's, I'm gonna get right to you. A 2X or a 2T could always well, if it satisfies a GE, it'll already be in the degree evaluation. But if they want to use it for a major prep, it won't automatically go there. The department will have to approve it. Yes?
Oh, never mind. I thought you said they could be used for a major. You said major.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so for example, let's say the student is a sociology major. So let's say that they're not done with the prep and they want this class to count. It won't go into their major prep automatically because it doesn't meet a direct equivalent. So then they would have to work with the major department to see if they could get an exception or a petition. Any questions on that? Okay. Okay, so we talked about the Math 119 that came over as Stats 119. And Stats 119 is a lower division GE math course. And if it's a major prep course, it will also be satisfied in their major prep area. So again, if they believe that a 2X or a 2T course is similar to a major course requirement, they'll have to petition with the department. We often see this happening with business and science courses, just so you know. Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. All right. So, on the last page of this evaluation, underneath the chronological listing and underneath the totals and GPAs, there may be some transfer courses that have not been reviewed or identified yet. These are unidentified courses, and they will be listed at the very end of the degree evaluation. These courses will show as unknown. A course such as this, what all that means is that it has not been reviewed to determine if there is an equivalent to an SDSU course or if it will satisfy an SDSU general education requirement. So what advisors in the Office of Advising and Evaluations are doing is we need to identify the courses to determine if it's transferable, if it's equivalent to an SDSU course, and therefore may be used to satisfy a GE or a major requirement, and if it can be used to satisfy GE. So maybe it's not equivalent, so it can't go automatically towards a prep, but maybe it's a 2T or a 2X and it will satisfy GE. We're looking at all those things. In case the course does come across, so if the student thinks that they have taken, like let's say that, it's a Spanish course. So that student has a language requirement. So if they're telling you, hey, I think that this is the third semester level, and I think once it's reviewed, it might be equivalent or it might clear my language requirement, your advice to them is don't repeat the course. Because we don't want to find them in the course, and then after the add drop deadline, we review the course and we make it equivalent, and the student's not going to get credit. Does that make sense? That they should just, your advice to them would work on satisfying other requirements that they know they need. Okay, if the student believes that the unknown course is a major preparation course and they need it shown as complete in order to declare their upper division major, so remember the impaction criteria, major prep, minimum GPA, minimum units in order to declare upper division major, then you'll refer them to the major advisor for review and petition. Okay? And we had some questions over here about that, so that might help too, with additional information. Okay, above the unknown courses is where you can find the student's GPA. So what is this student's GPA? 3.16. And how many units have they earned? They have earned 62 units. Sometimes the numbers on attempted and earned will be different, so make sure that you're noting that. Okay.
Yeah, just for like sake of knowing what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Like in this example, so on the right, that's the listing for the class they took like at the university or wherever. And on the other side, would that be like the SDSU equivalent?
That's us
or-
saying that it's unknown.
Okay,
And
well,
that's what it means, is that we
maybe-
still need to,
maybe this isn't a good example, but like on, like the American institutions, like right here.
Yep.
Like this part right here, would that just be like,
that's, yeah, so the transfer course is on the right and how it transferred to SDSU is on the left.
okay.
Yep. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so now we're gonna take a look at a major that has a specialized GE pattern, so you don't have this as an example. We're just gonna look at the slides here. We're gonna look at a mechanical engineering major. So the two evals that we just went through, those are standard GE patterns. This is a specialized GE pattern. So one of the first differences in the lower division coursework is for social and behavioral. So most students have to complete 2 courses from that list. This engineering student with their specialized GE pattern, they only have to take 1 course. Another difference is for their humanities. Of the 5 areas, instead of needing 1 course from 4 of the 5, they need 1 course from 3 of the 5. So a couple less courses. Okay. Next up, we'll talk about some more differences, which is in the upper division pattern. So this is referring, what I'm about to explain is referring to engineering students that have a catalog year of 2015 or forward. There may be engineering students in this room that are engineering students, but they have a different pattern because they're on a previous catalog year. Okay, so I'm talking about 15 going forward. So the pattern is, so an engineering student that's on a 2015 catalog or forward needs to take 3 courses, just like every other student in upper division GD in the explorations. The first one they need to take is from their humanities. We call this humanities matching. So what they have to do is take a course from the humanities explorations course that is from the same department as one of their lower division humanities courses. Okay? As the student takes lower division humanities courses, the system will automatically start detecting and they will start matching. So let's say the student has a Spanish class, a music class, and a philosophy class. The system will automatically go in and they'll say, oh, I find 3 philosophy courses that the student could take, 5 Spanish courses, and 4 whatever other subject I just said. They'll list them there. So the student will take one of those. That's their humanities matching. The second course they'll take is from the social and behavioral sciences list. Then their third course is going to also be from the social and behavioral sciences list. Unless the student has not completed American institutions with lower division coursework. Okay, and this will be stated on the evaluation. If the student in this pattern has not completed lower division or American institutions with lower division coursework, they could select an upper division American institutions requirement that will also clear their third GE explorations. So they have to have a humanities matching, they have to have one from social and behavioral, and they may be able to use that exception unless they're completed with lower division coursework. The same rules apply. It's still an upper division GE, so the student, if they happen to be below 60 units, they can't take it until they're earning 60 units. American institutions courses will never be culturally diverse. So that means then, in order to meet the culturally diverse requirement, either the humanities matching or the social and behavioral, the first one, have to be one with a plus sign. Does that make sense? Did I see it here? No? Okay. Bless you. Yes?
How do you know that the upper division exploration, social and behavioral science is an American institute? Like, do all of them fulfill the lower division American institution?
No.
Or is it
So
only specific?
I see what you're saying. No.
Yeah.
So in this case, so let's look at this student. So this student says, okay, I'm a transfer student, I'm an engineering student, I need my humanities, I need my social and behavioral. And then they say, well, how do I know if I completed my American institutions? Well, we flip back, I'm using our old example, so this is gonna be a little different. We flip back, and we look at their evaluation, and we're looking at the American institutions. So we say, oh, hey, we see a minus sign. That means you still have a class to complete. It hasn't been completed with lower division coursework. So then what they'll do is they'll select an upper division course from that list, only from this list on American institutions. So in this student's case, they could take any of the upper divisions, so 300 and 400 level, remember, so any of the upper divisions, history, political science, religious studies, or women's studies. Does that make sense? Okay, any other questions? Okay. So, we have an activity. So what I'm going to have, everyone has the activity. How should I pair up, like 2s and 3s? Just kind of stay 2s and 3s. Just kind of stay in your relative areas. So go ahead and. Wait a second.